Welcome back, all you ballers, to another episode of Video Game World Tours, a series where we slow down and soak in a game's environment. Today's tour takes us to the original Super Monkey Ball. Now, if you're familiar with the series, that might sound like a weird game to cover. What is there to really explore in a game like this? Stages are super tiny and you complete them in like 10 seconds. Well, I wanted to look at the backgrounds to the stages. After all, these are what set the vibes for the game. And because I'm feeling truly wacky today, I'm gonna rank them all alongside each other. We'll of course end with my favorite environment in the game. Number 10. Jungle. Now while this is at the bottom of the list, I still think it's kinda cool. For one, I love the colors. This is the first environment you see when starting on most difficulties, and it feels appropriately tropey. It's not trying to blow your mind with any craziness. This is just a jungle. That's where monkeys are. I learned that in monkey school. But it is a little weird. Like, look at all these cliff sides. They're super steep. I don't know why, but it reminded me of the cliffside from Firelink Shrine to Blighttown in Dark Souls. Maybe Quelaag is down there. You think Baby could take her? There's also these beanstalks. That's kinda weird. I've never seen a beanstalk reach from the ground to the sky in real life. Then again, I'm not that well traveled. What's that? It's like a faint path leading through the forest there. But aren't those the treetops? I don't know. I kinda imagine this as the ground level, and up here are where the treetops are. That makes more sense than a perfectly flat grass field, considering this is called jungle. Yeah, jungle's alright. We'll see some much cooler environments later though. Number 9 is the desert. This one beats out jungle, but not by much. I do consider myself a desert fan. You might have been able to guess with my intro and outro. But I don't know, this doesn't really do it for me. It does have some interesting details though. This is something you'll see in almost every stage. There's usually some floating decorative bit alongside the background environment itself. This one's okay. I have a feeling the level designer had no idea what they were doing though. Like, this is just nonsense. Look at these prongs reaching up, and how there's multiple layers to the fountain. It feels over-designed. I like it. It's appropriately weird for a game like this. Also, big-ass pyramid. Like Giga Pyramid. It towers over the pyramid behind it, and dwarfs the pyramids down there. I just want to take a moment to appreciate the scale here. I've seen towers like this in games and other media. I feel like I have a rough mental estimate for how tall this is compared to a human. But then I look at Giga Pyramid and my brain breaks. I just can't imagine something this big. It's kinda funny. Like, imagine monkeys building this. If humans could figure out pyramids, why couldn't these guys? That's really all I have to say for the desert. The Giga Pyramid makes it stand out above jungle in my eyes. What it doesn't stand out above is number 8, Arctic. It's cool. It's chill. I mean, it's boring, but it's chill. All there is just cold water, and really cold water. It is kinda cool that the icebergs shift around a bit. They just aimlessly wander back and forth. Poor fellas. Also, there's giant snowflakes for some reason. But the main reason I'm putting this stage at number 8 and not 9 or even 10 is because of this. Little penguins on the decorative floating islands. They're just hanging out, flapping their wings. And come on, they have cute little bow ties. I couldn't put these guys at the bottom of the list. In some other stages, they even have a little line of them walking from one igloo platform to another, endlessly. Look at them go. I just hope they find a way to get down from here. Our 7th stage doesn't really have a lot going on, but the vibes more than make up for it. Starry Night. This is where the bonus stages take place, and it feels appropriately surreal. Most of the other stages in the game are relatively grounded, but this is almost dreamlike. The clouds below, which fade into a blue starry sky above. And these little stars dangling from strings. That feels like a particularly inspired choice. It kinda takes this from generic cloud stage to something more magical. It kinda feels like something you'd see in a young kid's room, hanging from the ceiling like this. In a way, it's meant to emulate the stars in the sky, just indoors. So the weird juxtaposition between these fake stars and the real stars above, it's peculiar. I almost don't even want to think about the reality of this situation and where the stars are hanging from. I like taking this at face value and just kinda basking in the childlike atmosphere it creates. Number 6 takes us to Monkey Mall. This is where stages start to get a bit weird. First off, you have all these floating diners. It's interesting that there's steps leading down out of the front door a bit. Why would these exist for a diner floating in the sky? Also, can't forget to mention the monkeys inside. Giant monkeys compared to Eye here. Unlike the last stage, I can't help but think of the practicality of this. Just what is going on here? There's what looks like a city below. Multiple cities even. I want to see those monkey cities. What would that society look like? The best theory I have regarding all of this is that these diners were part of the cities below and they somehow rose up into the sky. And crucially, the monkey you're playing as shrunk down to fit this playable puzzle here. Maybe this is part of some ritual that every monkey has to go through. A rite of passage maybe. Every monkey has to get in a ball and reach the goal in all these stages. But that's just a theory. A game theory. It looks like there's an expansive jungle and mountains surrounding the cities. They really built it in the middle of nowhere. Oh, and there's a big sign for one of the diners. Rock and roll. AM 11 o'clock to PM 2 o'clock. Is that a Japanese thing to write the AM and PM before the time, and they just never got localized properly? It's down here too, so it's not a mistake. Special hamburger. So monkeys eat hamburgers in this world. Does that mean they have a beef industry? Is there a hierarchy of animals different than ours? Obviously aside from monkeys. Maybe humans exist in this world, but are lower on the totem pole, like a Planet of the Apes thing. Can humans talk in this world? Can they sing? Who knows? Number 5 is space. Monkeys in space. They already have Planet of the Apes, why do they need Space of the Apes? I must admit, this is some impressive tech. I mean, I assume it is. I actually have no idea what any of this does. Just look at this thing. So much detail all over, but what's it in service of? I guess these are the rockets that propelled the space station, but what is this? I kinda feel like it's a weapon of some kind. Death Star-like in a way. Look at that. This is definitely not peaceful. And apparently it's in orbit of Saturn. What beef do monkeys have with Saturn? And isn't it kinda crazy that this is Saturn? I guess it could be another planet that looks exactly like Saturn, but if it walks like Saturn and quacks like Saturn... Monkey society must be much further advanced than I thought. Like, this is a technological feat. Even humanity hasn't built anything like this. And they have this way in deep space, far away from Monkey Earth. What I'd give to see Monkey Cape Canaveral. It's kind of a chill vibe in here though. It's sleekly futuristic. I dig it. From science and technology, to faith and the sacred, welcome to number 4, Banana Temple. This is the final environment you come across in the game, accessible only from the master stages. And this shows a more pious side to the monkeys of this world. Huh. Considering the space stage is the last environment you see before the Banana Temple here, I realize that's kind of a trope in a lot of media. Like you'll be wowed with something technologically impressive, but after that, it's directly compared to something more spiritual. I guess that kind of speaks to the innate human desire to always accomplish more, to build something bigger. But then there's always a tiny little thought in the back of your head like, what if there's something greater out there? Something we'll never be able to achieve? Something that completely dwarfs our understanding of our existence as humans. Or, monkeys. So yeah, monkey religion. This does feel like a pretty important place. Whoever built this did a really good job. I bet the monkey gods were pleased with it. This bunch of bananas inscribed into the ground below is impressive. Palm trees line the temple platform. And of course, the temple itself. Steps lead you up to the top, where you're greeted with a door. A surprisingly distinct door, with a stretched eye on it. What lies just beyond? I'm sure many a monkey theologian have speculated on the question. And it's all held up by giant beanstalks with bananas growing on them. Wait a minute, beanstalks? Just like what we saw in the first stage, Jungle. There are 4 of them in Jungle, but they aren't quite in the same position in Banana Temple, so I don't think it's directly above Jungle. It's a cool, subtle callback though, especially as a bookend for the first and last environment in the game. I like the spiritual vibes of this place. The clouds obscuring the temple from the stages you play on. It's super mystical. Number 3 is underwater. Okay, we're getting into the heavy hitters now. I wouldn't necessarily call myself an underwater enjoyer, but all things considered, I really do appreciate this space. I will eternally be a fan of reflections from water above on things below. Something about the pattern it creates is always so calming. I'm trying to think of some personal connection I might have that would explain that fascination, but I'm drawing a blank. I definitely didn't go scuba diving in any exotic locations when I was younger. I didn't even have a pet fish. I guess I can appreciate the beauty of this effect without a deep-rooted personal connection to being underwater. These floating decorative bits on this stage have fish tank vibes to me. Kinda cute. And what's the deal with the chains connecting them? There's a plain chain between these two, but over here there are some curious light bars in the middle of the strand. They are kinda pointing towards each other, so maybe it's lighting for the stage? In a way, it truly does feel like a stage. You're at the center of attention, lights on you, with decorative elements surrounding the course. Lends a bit of credence to the rite of passage theory I laid out earlier. I guess I should point out the Dole submarine. This game is plastered with the Dole logo. The bananas, this submarine, a satellite in the space stage? Yeah, I brushed past that. I know they're a real-life fruit company and a sponsor for these early games, but what does this mean in-world? Is Dole a mega corporation with their fingers in every pie imaginable? Like, not only do they produce fruit in this world, they produce maritime vehicles and celestial vehicles? I wouldn't be surprised if they were behind the pyramids too. Hell, why not the Banana Temple? After all, their logo is on every single banana. Did I just stumble onto something big? I should probably not poke the hornet's nest. I'm sure they're up to something nefarious. We're approaching the end already. The second best environment in the game is Storm. This is ominous. The scariest environment in the game, I'd say. I don't even know where I'd try to place this in the monkey world. The closest analog I have to this in my mind is that one stage from Sonic Heroes. I hate that's what I first thought of. And there's all these bizarre statues. What could they be in reference to? Deities in monkey mythology? Perchance. I guess they're Halloween themed. These ones at least. I can't think of a connection between these 3. And of course, the eponymous Storm. It perfectly sets the vibe for this stage. That and the dark clouds make this environment feel sinister. Something I wouldn't really expect from a seemingly cheerful game about monkey balls. I'll always appreciate being high in the sky and having pillars and towers fade out of visibility below you. It's such a great trick to selling just how high up you truly are. Interestingly, it doesn't really spook me like I'd expect to be, considering how high in the sky this is. I guess having no context for where the ground is helps protect against that. These towers are interesting. They're just plain cylinders reaching out from the void below. No hints given as to their purpose or overall structure they belong to. This whole place is just weird. Literally every other stage in this game is named based off the location it's in. Jungle, space, Banana Temple, you know where you are from the name. Which leaves us with Storm. I mean, a storm isn't a location. Storms happen over locations and move around. Eventually the storm over this location will pass. And then what would it be called? Clear? Cloudy? Or maybe it wouldn't pass. Maybe this stage name doesn't break convention, and there will always be a storm here. Maybe some dark ritual was carried out here 4,000 years ago, and this area is cursed. Or maybe the developers just wanted a stage with some rain. I don't know. Okay, final stage of the video. My favorite environment in the game. And before I say it, what's your favorite? You've seen nearly all of them so far, and if you're a true Super Monkey Baller, I wonder if you know which one I've saved for last. Number 1. The best environment in the game is Sky High. I love this place. Interestingly, this isn't some secret hidden environment you come across late in the game. It's the second main one. You encounter it after Jungle in the beginner set. I like it for the subdued weirdness. It's not overtly weird like Storm, and it's not plain as can be like Desert. I think there's a place for something that gets just a little bit weird, and I can appreciate the part this plays in the overall Super Monkey Ball environment progression. First off, I guess we should address the name, Sky High. They were all facts, no printer. This is Sky High, alright. I guess we were sky high in the last stage, but there's no storm here. This is peaceful. Like I said, a big fan of being high up and pillars fading out below you. Only these pillars are natural. Stone rocks reach high up above the clouds, and apparently monkeys call some of these their home. You know, I can appreciate a good view, but I think I'd draw the line somewhere before this. How are you gonna get your DoorDash? Oh wow, someone's home here. Or I hope so and they didn't leave a fire going. Aw, this poor little tower, all by his lonesome. Separated from all his friends. I hope he finds his way back to them again someday. Oh, silly me. How could I forget this giant, spinning, floating thing? This is another thing that I have no idea what they were going for. There's rows of doors all around it, but what would you find inside? And there's a part of it that looks unfinished. Maybe the monkey construction workers are on strike, and they want more hourly bananas. And why is it spinning? This game's world truly is an enigma. That's what I love about it. On the face of it, you're just supposed to pay attention to the courses you're traversing through. But all these funky backgrounds are the set dressing. They set the vibe for the game. Theoretically, this whole environment could be a white void, and the game would still play the same. But so much of the charm would be gone. Part of the fun of this game is being baffled at the details they put into these backgrounds. And the second game, well, I'll just say it takes it up a notch. But that's for another video. Check out either of these videos up next. I will eventually cover Super Monkey Ball 2, I promise. That was my childhood game. And let me know what you thought of this whole ranking thing. I'm not planning on doing this for every tour, but I can think of a few games where it might work out. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.